Finance Minister says the Board of Caribbean Airlines has given its assurance that the airline will break even in 2.5 years. But there are still questions swirling as to just how the airline will see profits, especially with the removal of the fuel subsidy on non-domestic flights. Peter Christopher has more.
The future of Caribbean Airlines was one of the hot topics following Monday's presentation after it was announced that the government would remove fuel subsidies on all non-domestic flights. The already troubled airline has been mandated to break even, but with the fuel subsidy identified as one of the airline's stabilizers, this could pose a challenge. The announcement of the fuel subsidy removal, coupled with CAL's assurance that ticket prices would not skyrocket as a result, prompted questions as to just how the airline would be self-sustaining. Minister Hawaii gave this response on Tuesday.
There are two things. One, the first is we will need to put a capital injection initially to restructure the balance sheet of the company. But the company has a lot of assets which has not been leveraged. In fact, some of these have been bought with cash. And in one or two rare instances, I think we may have some government guarantees behind a couple of them.
PricewaterhouseCoopers, in their annual budget memorandum, also raised the question. They said the announcement, like many other statements made by Mr. Hawaii, was not fully explained, and they were left to wonder how the airline would adjust, given a promise by the Caribbean Airlines Board that ticket prices will not increase. They said it is hoped that this can be achieved without CAL taking the increased popular course of becoming a no-frills airline. Minister Hawaii did not suggest this was a possibility, but admitted operating costs would have to be adjusted.
It is a combination of, one, some additional equity, two, they're restructuring their balance sheet to make it much more efficient in terms of generation of cash, and thirdly, they have to do some restructuring of their operations to reduce their overall cost.
Minister Hawaii said the board is to submit proposals to him soon, but they have given assurances that the airline will be viable within 2.5 years.
It would probably take me a couple of weeks. They're presenting the report on the 17th of September, but I wouldn't want to necessarily accept their number. I want to go through the numbers myself before I say, okay, I think this is a number that is acceptable. They're telling me that they should be in a position to break even within 2.5 years, but I have to see the actual report and get the actual data myself, but that's the numbers, that's the number they've given me.
However, there are still more questions to come about the future of CAL, given that it was also announced in the budget that American-based low-cost airline JetBlue is to begin service in this country soon. Peter Christopher, C News.